Hello! I've arrived. Artist, archivist, future man, and tonight, Alchemist. You can call me Tiberius Vanderfield. Hello. Hello. Yes. So, tonight, we continue Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. And, let's see. Yes. Then, for the business for the rest of the week, tomorrow we will be streaming some more Mika and the Witch's Mountain, and then on Saturday should be some more Arc Nights. Yes. Tomorrow's stream should be around 9 p.m. Central Time. The Friday stream, tomorrow is the Friday stream. Let me try that again. The Saturday stream should be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, but we shall see. Yes. Other than that then, not a whole lot to go over, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if it's just my monitoring, but my microphone sounds a little bit loud today. It looks like it's fine on OBS, so I think it's just that I have my monitoring turned up a little bit higher. Anyway, yes. So, other than that, right, so next week. Yes, next week, ideally. Oh, wait, right, I forgot. Yes, so I do have some business on Friday that could potentially delay the stream. Unlikely to cancel it, but likely to delay it. We shall see. Yeah, I don't know precisely how long it will take, but it shouldn't be anything dramatic, I don't think. But yes, anyway, as I was saying, next week we should be seeing we should be seeing a return of the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday through Saturday stream schedule. Yes, once again, the Monday stream will be Atelier Yumia, the Tuesday stream should be Arc Nights, the Thursday stream will be Atelier Yumia, the Friday stream that week will probably be more Guilty Gear, and then the Saturday stream will be more Arc Nights. Yes, once again, we are currently still waiting on the package containing my copy of, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I know the name of the game, I've seen it before. Yes, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. Still waiting on that to be delivered. Still have no real idea of when it will be, other than, a little bit. Yeah, again, the last estimate that I got was around the 20th, so that is what we're currently working on. Yeah, it came out today. I've been watching a little bit of it. I didn't want to watch too much of it. But anyway, it looks interesting and I'm interested in playing it. Perhaps that is unsurprising given the fact that I spent $100 on to get the limited edition of it. Anyway, yes. One way or the other, I think that should cover us for other business. I think that should cover us for all of the business, even. So, let us get into the game. Yes. Atelier Yumia. Yes. So, let's see. Yeah, last time around, we went to the area of the Great Tree. We fixed the mana problem there. We encountered Vesper, which is the name of the monster that we've heard so much about. That is responsible for the disaster that claimed so many lives. Yeah, claimed so many lives. In particular, seemingly, possibly the life of Yumia's mother. But definitely a lot of people that Isla and Victor were familiar with, considering that Vesper was sort of they've had a strong desire to kill him, basically, ever since they first saw him. But yes. Anyway, so. Articles? So yes, as per usual, you can expect a little bit of meandering around here. Yeah, in particular, I do want to collect some materials here in this area, because I want to get some great tree roots. Yeah, that is a material that can be gathered from around here. Yeah, I want great tree roots because those can be used for building, those can be used for building greenhouses. Those are necessary for building greenhouses even. But yes, I don't know what we harvest them from specifically, but I do know that we get them around here, presumably because this is the Great Tree. So yes, I know that we saw them in the general area. I'm not seeing any right now, but I saw some in the general area of the base that we established last time. Nothing that we've gotten so far seems to have gotten us any great tree roots. Ah, hold on. Alright, we got some from this log, so it might be... Yeah, we got some more from that log. Yes, it looks like it is these logs that drop them. Because yeah, again, I noticed it while I was exploring after stream last time, but I did not pay attention enough to see precisely what gave them to me. So yeah, anyway, the great tree roots got in the way, or the lack of great tree roots got in the way of us. Okay, yeah, I noticed that particle effect before also. I think that's just the particle of us entering the building area, perhaps? Because it looks a little bit like the particle effect for an area that you can collect particles in spawning. But there definitely wasn't such an area there. It's also not the right color, but anyway. So yes, so we built this lovely little base here. And I realize now that even though we went through all the trouble of doing so, it is going to have to be torn down in the not-too-distant future if we want to establish a greenhouse here. Because, yeah, you can't just place a greenhouse. You do need to... Yeah, you can't just place a greenhouse. You need to use the sort of built-in template for a greenhouse. Presumably this is the game's way of making it so you can't place more than one greenhouse, because they do produce resources really quite fast. So I would imagine if you could just fill a plot with perhaps dozens of them, and not especially large. Well, dozens might be a little bit ambitious, but a lot. If you could, yes, if you could definitely get incredible amounts of materials in a very short time. So yeah, let's collect some fruit while we're here as well. That's always useful, and strictly necessary for cooking, of course. So yeah, I imagine if this is the only place where we can get great tree roots, I'm probably going to spend a lot of time here in my off time. Let's see, actually, yeah, this is the spot for it, it looks like, because this is where, yeah, we have wizened wood. And the gathering spots that drop wizened wood also drop great tree roots. Yeah, a few more. We probably don't need that many, considering we don't have that many places where we can build greenhouses in the first place. So yeah, I think, since I went through all the trouble of building this house, once we get the great tree roots that we need and all that, I think I'll probably just rebuild it in some form. I might adjust it a little bit because, as you can see, the roof is a little bit off. But yeah, I'll probably just rebuild it. I'm attached to it. So even though it won't be quite the same, it'll at least be similar. Anyway, so, next up, we need to go back to the base so that we can report in and get our next mission. Let's see. We might also do some more quests while we're in the area. And we do also need to turn in some of our pioneering progress. This? I guess, yeah, that's... I was thinking that that was where we would find... And perhaps it was previously, but where we would find a side quest. Anyway, so, pioneering report. Alright, we are pretty high up there. Material box. Yeah, shop trading expanded. I'm assuming that means that we can get a wider variety of things from the shop, possibly. Yeah, material box. I'm not sure about that. Yes. So there's a fair amount here that we can get yet, but most of it isn't anything that seems too important. Though the burst ammo is almost certainly something that we want. Yeah, so some other things. We're probably going to make more ingots just naturally over time, so I'm not going to think about that too much. Mossy Forest Relic. I'm not sure where we get those from, given that we haven't gotten any, apparently. Storehouse in Ligneous region. We haven't done that yet, I guess. Broken Bridge campsite. We are 1 point off. 1 point off the required amount of comfort. And that's after we did some building on that base, building it up a little bit more. If we had placed just one more flower pot, it probably would have been perfect. So, material box. Placing a material box will automatically store any materials that you find while you have a full inventory. When you enter a building area where a material box is located, your materials will be replenished automatically. Yeah, I assume that means materials as in things that you use to do simple synthesis. And I suppose also construction, but yeah. I assume this is... Yeah, I think the terminology is that, you know, the stuff you use for simple synthesis is materials, and the stuff you use for regular crafting, proper synthesis, complex synthesis, if you will, is ingredients, perhaps. Anyway, so, let us progress the story at least a little bit. Where are you going? I think that he would be making money from the exploration, given that it's his job, but oh well. Alright, Earhart has something for us, seems like. Alright, we can deal with monsters. That shouldn't be a big deal. We'll throw in a third party member for free. Alright, then I suppose we'll be on our way. Yes, Rutger. If there's anyone he doesn't argue with... Well, I was going to say if there's anyone he doesn't argue with, it's Earhart, but he has argued with Earhart. It's just that Earhart wins the argument, usually. Ah, okay, so it looks like that was the sub-quest, or the side quest that we just got. And this is the main quest, presumably. Yeah, Vesper is definitely an interesting factor. Definitely an interesting factor in all this. Because he... Evidently, what he has said is that he represents the military, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly what he said. Not word for word, anyway. But he said that he represents the military of Elodie. Which is interesting, because as far as we know, the Elodie was destroyed centuries ago. So, that's a little bit worrying. Yeah, it means that there's a lot here that we do not know.
僕たちがもっと強くなればいいんです。後輩は頼りになるな。
Victor is nothing if not dependable. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, we have gotten the big mana-bound areas in this region. So presumably that means we're going to be moving on to a new region soon, if not immediately. The capital. Okay. Yeah, so far the few clues that we've gathered have pointed towards the capital as being probably a place where we would learn a fair amount about what exactly happened to bring Alades to its knees. I feel like we're doing pretty well. I mean, if anything, we've made it so there's a lot of places that are able to be explored that weren't otherwise. Yeah. Bit of ambition is good. We're glad that Yumia has that. Yeah, we've got at least 3 whole regions to go through yet. Fair enough, fair enough. We'll try to be a little bit more concrete with our strategy. Though that's not necessarily a strength of mine either. Alright, the Sivash region. Yeah, I wonder if it will be a notably different biome. I would assume probably. Maybe not necessarily massively different. So yeah. So we picked up a side quest, and now we have a new main quest. Okay. So actually, from the looks of this, we can't see a whole lot from here. I don't know, it might be a little bit too early to make too many conclusions, but it definitely seems more rugged, rocky. Less floral at the very least. And probably with more buildings, or at least more intact buildings. I wonder what's over here. This is part of the Ligneous region. And that appears to be I never remember what these are called. But one of the... Yeah, this appears to be the center of a mana-bound area. One of the distributors, I think it was? Anyway. A thing that spreads mana around and not having it be active creates mana-bound areas. So this does... Yeah, that is part of the Ligneous region, and yet it is not explored. So I wonder if this is just something of an optional objective, something that we can just do on our own time if we feel like it. I suppose all of our time is on our own time in this game. It's not as though we have a deadline, but... Yeah, something that we can do as we see fit, but aren't necessarily required to do for any purpose. Because again, the game has been very open in general so far. Been very open in general, but I've never really pushed to see how much we can sort of go out of order, so to speak. You know, I've explored around places, but I've not tried to accomplish any real objectives in any of them. So, I do think I want to do a little bit of exploring. I think I want to see what's up with that area that we just marked. Let's see, is there... I know I just fast traveled here already, but is there a closer location? Yes, actually. So it looks like I didn't necessarily need to fast travel to the Atelier. But yeah, we've been here a little bit. This is where we got one of the memory vials that we investigated, I think. I believe, anyway. Let's see, this... Can we get around this? Yes, we can. Not even a matter of getting around it, it's simply a matter of getting over it. Oh. Oh dear. So... So this is not operable. And I don't think that regardless of how much jumping or how well I do it, I don't think I'm going to be able to get up there. Of course, we did just fall down from a higher area. So if we were to get back up, we might be able to get around. But I did see that this area was connected to the Sivash area. So it might just be that we need to come at it from the other angle, and it's not meant to be explored from here yet. But we did just get to an area that we hadn't been to before. At least not immediately. Not in the immediate past, I should say. So this leads here. Oh yeah, we were just up here. Okay, so this is where we were in the immediate past. Never mind. Yes, once again, up and over. And let's see. We can't get up there. But we can stay up on this cliff, which still won't let us get to where we need to be, I don't think. Because yeah, where was the ladder that we discovered? I think it's over there. We'll try not to fall down any cliffs if we can avoid it. We're already a little bit low on energy. So yeah, it doesn't... I don't think I have the platforming ability to get over there at this point. Yeah, so it does look like the bulk of the exploring in this area will have to be done after we've gotten the... Yeah, after we have... oh dear. Unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like we will just have to come back later once we've gotten to the other side. Oh well, it was worth a try. But yes, it doesn't look like we can do anything here. Yeah, I was hoping that we could get everything, or at least all the major points in the Ligneous region before we moved on, but it seems that that is not the case. Yes, so back up this side. I should do some side quests one of these days. That's something that I like doing. But I did already say that I'm going to focus on story today, so we're going to focus on story today. If I can remember where we need to go for it. Where are we going? Oh, north, okay. Yes, this way. Yeah. So we'll need to go, around to the left here, then go to the right underneath a set of roots, and that should take us to where we need to go. Yes, no particular issue. Let's see, I wonder... Does it tell me what specific type of ammo this needs to be? No, it just says special. So yeah. One interesting thing I just noticed is how it mentioned that the wall was turned stone-like due to mana exposure, which is an interesting thing to note, considering that previously we had sort of been under the impression that mana didn't affect things other than living creatures. In particular, it didn't affect things other than sapient creatures, at least not substantially. Yeah, so Swami, for instance, is immune to mana. That much has been established. And monsters and whatnot sort of exist in areas that are mana bound without any particular issue, seemingly. Let's see, is this a shrine that we haven't explored? Probably, yeah. Alright. Oh. I did say that we were going to focus on the story, but we can't just not do a puzzle when there's a puzzle to be done. Alright. So there's something to activate in this building over here. And then something over further down that path yonder. Actually, we need to make more bullets, don't we? So yeah. Simple synthesis. Alright. I feel like we're running out of these quickly. So we'll just make a little bit more. Oops. Oh, whoops, I forgot to switch to regular ammo. There we are. So yeah. Getting more bag space is definitely something that could be useful. Definitely something that I would like to look into in the near future. Let's see, that's not a memory vial. Is this? Nothing that we can interact with right now, it seems like. There's a... Ah! Okay, so that block we need to move over to there. I'm a little bit surprised that I missed the chest entirely on my first go through there, but oh well. Yeah, I don't know that we really need unis for anything currently. I suppose we don't need a lot of specific things for a lot of specific things right now. Because we haven't done a whole lot of crafting super recently. And we certainly could do more, but... Alright, like so. And then... should be, there we are. So yeah, we certainly could do more. Ah, another memory vial, nice. Alright, so that means that we can get more furniture here, it sounds like. Treasure trove key, very nice. And let's see, that's... Alright, we were just in here. This doesn't take us to where the cube was, unfortunately. So it looks like we need to find another way in here. That's something. There's a glow over there. Is that just... Okay, I think that's just the glow of the... Yeah, the lock on the chest. Slipping through the door. Or through the wall. Oh. I wonder, is there anything the scan bullets can tell us? Okay. Special ammo. Yeah. So, unfortunately, none of us have a tool that is designed for cutting plants. So, we can't get through those until we devise a special kind of bullet to do it. It would be very convenient if we had some sort of cutting apparatus, but unfortunately all we have is a scythe. Let's see, can we get... Or rather, obviously we can get up here, considering that we are up here, but is there anything up here to get? Is the better question. We can get on the roof, which might lead us to more of something useful. Oh. Alright. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything in the immediate area. Not seeing anything on the mini-map. At least we're seeing some icons, but none of them are treasure, I don't think. Though to be fair, it has been quite a while since the last time we explored around a ruin to try and get blueprints out of it. Let's see, I'm not seeing anything here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything of any particular interest at all, really. Actually, now that I look at it, I am seeing the exclamation marks on the map. Oh, okay. So these definitely weren't here before. So yeah, so I think they just spawned in order to accommodate the scan that we just did, rather than the scan revealing where they are to us. Is one of them outside? Yes. And then we have one more over... There it is. And there's one more out this way. Is that in the room with the cube? That's something, clearly, but I don't think it's that. Actually, I think the exclamation mark might be outside, perhaps? You might need to run around the back here. That's not it. Is this it anywhere around here? Alright, we're triggering that prompt quite a bit. So, I wonder if it's up on top or something like that. Actually, are we outside? Okay, we're not seeing them anymore, it seems like. Because I think, yeah, we're outside of the scan area. So, it seems to be, if it's anywhere, it's about here. I can't tell if it's inside or not. I think it might be either on the second floor or on the roof somewhere. Well, again, maybe we shouldn't spend too much time. Ah, here it is. Alright. That was easy. Yeah, so that gives us the Hidden Forest relic, but we still don't have the means to get that last treasure chest. So at least it looks like for the time being our exploration of this area is going to be incomplete. Which is tragic, but I'm sure we'll survive some way or the other. It will not be easy though. Alright. That was pretty easy though. Alright, that should be the shrine ready to go. And with that, we will get our next... I've forgotten what these are called now that I think about it. Okay, it looks like we're not ready to go, actually. There is one more... Oh, do we need to? It seems that we might need to complete the... Or it might be this way. Alright, this is... Ah, okay. That's definitely a strange particle effect there. Interesting. Anyway, so that should be the shrine complete, I would think. I wonder if we needed to go in that house at all, or if it was just that thing that we just interacted with. Alright, Here we are. An energy prism. Very nice. Alright, so with that, let us proceed. Yes, we'll have to get through, or we'll have to return here once we have the means to cut through plant life. Yeah, a lot of monsters around here, but none of them are faster than us, so it's not an issue. That's another building here. It seems that even before we reach the Sivash region, we're definitely seeing something akin to a greater level of urbanization, or at the very least, maybe just larger buildings. Laboratory quarantine storage. This seems like the kind of place that we don't necessarily want to poke around in too much, so let's poke around in it a little bit. I suppose at this point, whatever they were quarantining is probably either already gotten out or is long dead, and is no longer a concern of ours. I don't know where this is. Ah, here we are. I was going to say, I don't know where I'm actually taking this, but now we do. Alright, what do we have? Glacial stone, nice. And we have a memory vial. Very good. Alright. So, we can do some scanning here as well. Again, I should make my way to the canyon. Pardon me? Seems like there's something out there. There's something in here, perhaps. I feel like the particle effects are acting up a little bit today. They're definitely... I don't know, it might just be... Ah, here's what was making the noise, I imagine. Yes, don't mind me, I'm just here to loot. Yes, we need to find new designs for our furniture. This is completely and utterly... Yes, completely and utterly necessary. Alright. Anything else to shoot around here? Not anything in plain sight. Let's see, is this... Okay, no, that's just where we were. And that's just more parts, which I don't think we have any tremendous need for. Relics. I realize now, I haven't really been... Okay. No big deal. I was going to say I haven't been keeping an eye on the ads or anything, but yeah, we don't have one. Ah, here we are. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have one coming up immediately, so we should be fine. Alright, anyway. So this should be our last treasure chest. And we'll need one more collectible. Let's see. Is there anything down here, perhaps? Doesn't look like it. Oops. Well, I guess we're getting a better look now. Alright. So nothing over here. I wonder, can we get up this tree and further into the building? Doesn't look like it's designed as a means to let you do that. I think it's just a tree. Alright. Now, do we need to get on the roof, perhaps? I don't know that we can jump quite that high from quite where we are. We can get very close, though. Can we stand on this barrel? Okay, we can stand on the barrel. I don't know that this is intended, but it did work. Now, whether or not there's anything to do up here is another question, but... Well, Again, it didn't look like we were supposed to be up there necessarily, so I'm not surprised that we didn't really get anything done while we were. Unless... Because we've gotten up into some places through some strange routes before. So this could just be very well how we're supposed to do this. Seems like perhaps not, though. At the very least, we didn't get anything tremendous out of it. It is what it is, I suppose, though. Let's see. Can we... Are we out of... Oh, we're out of scan range, I think. Or maybe it's just some sort of map layering issue? Okay, yeah, because now we can see the exclamation mark again. Alright, so it's not there. In this room? Oh, it is. Alright, fair enough. So this still doesn't explain this. We can't shoot it. At least not with scan ammo. I suppose we can shoot it, but we don't get anything from it. I don't think... I'm not seeing any switches around here. Hold on. Okay, there we are. That's something. Yeah, so given that we already have that treasure chest unlocked, we'd probably be just as well served by taking this block over to the other side and making use of it there. If we can... Okay, there we are. Alright. And place it. And that should shut down the field here. Alright. Which gives us access to mana leaves and cotton grass. But not a whole lot else, it looks like. Yeah, nothing of any great interest. Oh well. It's something at least. I didn't realize we could break those boxes, by the way. Not, again, that we have anything tremendous that we want from them. But, you know. If we can, we might as well. So it is still telling me that we can scan here. It's interesting that it's telling me that I can scan, despite the fact that I've already gotten everything from here, in theory. Oops. Unless there's something else that I need to do, like maybe go back to the memory vial and interact with it in some way. I don't remember what we did last time that we did one of these, to be honest. At least not the last time that I did one of them fully. It does feel like there should be something. Should be something that happens at this point. Because I don't think we got any furniture blueprints like I was expecting. It could also be that we just don't get one from every single one that we complete, but... Alright. If you insist, I suppose we can get into a fight. It's been a very, very low-key kind of stream today, I suppose. We haven't gotten into any real conflicts. Alright, that's not anything. Where was the memory vial that we scanned? Actually, was it in the room? I think it might have been in the room, wasn't it? Yes. Alright, so I returned to it and there wasn't anything I could do, so I suppose we're just done. Anyway, how about that their main quest that I said I was going to progress? Alright, connected canyon. I wonder if we can build a ladder there, but I guess we don't need to. That's a pretty small jump. Okay, no, I can't. I can't allow myself to look at that building too long, or else I'll be drawn in. Alright, it seems that this canyon is not quite so connected. Yeah. At the very least, the canyon could be more connected. Oops.
自分たちも行き来するのに便利だからだってよ。お前たちがマナ領域を晴らしてくれたおかげで、俺たちもここまで入って作業ができるようになった。ここから先はまたお前たちに任せることになるが、ま、お互いそれが任務だ。よろしく頼むよ。
No problem. Glad to help. Clearing mana-bound jobs or mana-bound areas is my purpose and my pleasure. Alright, that was in fact pretty quick. Speaking of skill points, we should probably see what we can get with our skill points. No, actually, no, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going at least until we see the Sivash region. I don't know that we're going to necessarily have time to do anything there, per se. Oh. Alright, we are there. Exciting new treasures await us. Yeah, breeze stone. We got new varieties of Huni also. We got a new shrine. I don't expect to do anything with it per se, but I do want to activate it just to have it. Well, if you're just going to be out in the open like that, I might as well. Alright, it looks like they're stepping up their puzzle game. These aren't too challenging, so we shouldn't have too much trouble. I wonder if there's like a way that we can... Oh, I think we've checked that before. I was going to say, I wonder if there's a way that we can rotate these clockwise and counterclockwise. It seems that the answer is no, and I feel like, again, I've checked that before and gotten kicked out of the minigame before on account of that. Alright. Again, I don't want to get too distracted, which isn't to say that I'm not going to get too distracted, but I don't want to. Oh, okay. Definitely does have a very different feel already, even just a short ways into the Sivash region. Alright, so we've got something going on here. Ah, people. As far as I'm aware, I'm a human. I suppose I haven't checked, but... I should say Yumi is a human. I have checked, and I am a human, at least last time I checked. Things can always change. Seems that they're not necessarily up to date with the times. I mean, to be fair, Ricker, they did think that our entire species was extinct, so cut them a little bit of slack. Yeah, so Wellick, huh? Yeah, definitely wasn't expecting, yeah, definitely wasn't expecting to see other, like, non-Alber residents who weren't also related to, Alades. Though granted, I suppose we don't have any reason to believe the Wellics specifically are not related to the Eladies in any way. Alright, it seems that they're not necessarily the most welcoming of folks. Alright, we know who we need to ask to get permission then. Lydia.
ウェルクスに危害を及ぼすつもりはありません。どうか信じてもらえませんか?
Yes, I'm trying to think. I believe we've seen folks with animal traits in previous Atelier games. I can't remember if the term Wellics was used to describe them or not.
妙な行動をとったら、その瞬間敵とみなす。
当然、それで構いません。
Alright, so it looks like we might be getting a little bit more than I had bargained for. Or at the very least, a slightly longer cutscene. Quite the sight. And it looks like we are quite the sight as well. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for us to not do anything strange, but I'll try not to cause a scene at the very least. I mean, to be fair about us being treated like a spectacle, you have quite the pair of spectacles yourself there, Rutger.
そもそも許可なんているのかよ。別に集落を襲うってわけでもねえのに。
I have to say, Rutger, I would not put it past you to ransack the place.
反感を買わないように慎重に動かないと。調査を円滑に進めるなら、現地住民の協力は必須でしょ?
You wonder. I imagine there's probably... The Wellics probably have at least some knowledge of at least some things. Given that again, to some extent, Eladies does seem to still be extant somewhat. Ah, it's Nina again.
ここでおとなしくしていろ。
まあ、荒っぽいんだから。はーい、また会ったわね。
You know, I never noticed that her pupils have a red color to them.
何してるんですか? 何って、マナ領域が晴れたようだったから、調査範囲を拡大しただけよ。
Yeah, Nina evidently has some skill at getting around, considering that she was able to get through the rubble pile before we were, or at least get around it.
なんだかややこしい状況になってるみたいね。
はい、アラディスにまだ住民が残っていたみたいで、今は向こうの代表者さんを待ってるところです。
なるほど。
Yeah, we do still have an ad coming up. Thankfully, I can just snooze it again. I suppose I didn't need to comment on that. Yeah. Interrupt the cutscene just a little bit. Yeah, so this would be the leader, presumably. Lydia.
シルワ族、長のクレイジャーよ。話は聞かせてもらったわ。禁忌を晴らしてみせたというのは。
Yes, we are indeed the ones who have cleared the forbidden lands.
あなたね。
Yumia, specifically, I suppose.
はい。
こいつがやったなんて話したか?
We did not, but
Yumia だった
I
気
feel
が
like
する。
Cladia probably has a little bit of information. Yeah, we did see
なんでしょうか。
parts of a Welix earlier in the
あ
crowd.
なた
Yeah, during earlier cutscenes with the research team and whatnot.
ここに来た目的を教えてくれるかしら。
So it seems that someone's been keeping their eye on us.
秘密を解き明かすために大災害の発生源とも言われる首都を目指しています。これまでずっと謎に包まれていた滅亡の原因を解き明かす。それが私たち調査団の目的です。
そのためにこの地で活動したいということね。確かにリグナスのマナを晴らしてここまで来たというのは本当のようね。ただあなたがどのように禁域を晴らすのか、その手法を知
I
ら
mean,
な
we
い
can
まま
tell
許
you
可
how
をする
we
こともでき
clear
ない。
mana-bound areas. I don't know that you
その
can
力
necessarily.
実際に見せてもらえるかし
I
ら。
guess you can see it,
わ
but
かりました。
yeah, I don't know how much that would be useful to you because I don't think you could necessarily
次は
replicate
向
the
こう
ability.
側のマナを晴らせるはずです。
向こうって。
大
But
聖堂の
we can demonstrate at the very least to some extent.
禁域に入る術も知ってるのか。
わかったわ。早速向かいましょう。
Now, unfortunately, Cladia, we can't necessarily head there at once. We do have to wait for, you know,
禁
next
域っ
week.
て言ったっけ？
But at least
わざ
it'll
わざ
be
ここで
early
暮ら
next
して
week.
るなんて。
何か理由があるのかな。
Yeah.
ひとまずマナ領域の対処に向かおう。
Yeah, I was going to say that, or I had said earlier, that we seem to be in a
お風呂に
more
入らせ
settled
たいよ。
region, or not necessarily a more settled region, but a more. We were in, okay, let's try that again. So yeah, the Sivash area, from just looking at it, seemed to be a little bit craggier and to have more buildings or more, more buildings or more intact buildings. So I suppose this being, you know, a place where people live accounts for that. Yes, the people here don't seem to be super friendly to us, which, you know, again, not that unusual. Considering that, again, they've had no reason to believe that we existed up until very recently, apparently. So yes, anyway, so,
すぐ使い切らないように。
I suppose at this point, I should probably play that ad and then wrap up for the night. So, why not go ahead and do that? There we are. Yes. Quick break, then we will wrap up once again. Alright, I have returned. So, tonight has been Atelier Yumia. Pardon. But yes. Anyway, if anyone has any raid suggestions, as always, I would be delighted to hear them. If not, I can find a target on my own. And so, let us wrap up with some business before we wrap up with everything. Yes. Tonight, once again, Atelier. Tomorrow will be some more Mika and the Witch's Mountain. Or Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday. Saturday will be some more, Arc Knights. There we are. Then, once again, next week, the Monday and Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yes, the Monday and Thursday streams will be Atelier Yumia, the Tuesday and Saturday streams will be Arc Knights, and then the Friday stream will be Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah, I don't know, I might actually do some more Mika and the Witch's Mountain, because I do want to get, I do want to beat that game at some point. Yeah, Strive is fun, but it's not something I'm working on beating, because, it's a fighting game. I suppose fighting games do have, single-player story modes and things like that, and Strive is no exception, but I don't play it single player as much as possible. I play it online mostly, and I don't think I'm going to ever beat everyone who plays Guilty Gear Strive ever. But yeah, I don't think that that's going to happen at any time in the near future, so probably again we're going to focus a little bit more on Mika and the Witch's Mountain in the near future, because we haven't been playing that for a while. And again, I do want to get through the game. So yes. So, let's see. Right. So, the Thursday and Friday streams, whenever those happen, you can expect to be around 9 p.m. Central Time. Then every other stream, you can expect to be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, so I've definitely improved my time management and efficiency and whatnot recently quite a bit. So it's become more realistic for me to potentially stream earlier. So I might aim to do that. Yeah, possibly start stream as much as 30 minutes earlier or so on any given day. Yeah, I've avoided doing that in the past, both because I often couldn't get everything settled before then, but also just because I was uncomfortable with the idea of not starting at consistent times, but I don't start at consistent times anyway, generally speaking, even on days when I, do give myself quite a bit of time before the stream to get ready. Because, there are often things that happen that, I just can't predict. But yeah, a lot of factors outside of my control and all that. So, anyway. So all of that is to say, I might start streams early a little bit more often going forward. Yeah, it's very, very rare for me to start early, pretty common for me to start late. But if I aim to start early, even if I'm late to being early, I'll still probably be on time. So that's good. Anyway, so what else? That should be everything, I suppose. So yes. So, I'm not seeing any raid suggestions. And tonight, let's see. I think we'll go and visit Luminous Lee today. Yeah, Lumi is playing a video game. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, there we are. Yes, playing Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, which is the DS remake of the first Fire Emblem game. Yes, we've raided into her playing that before. Yes, Luminous Lee. Alright. Raid is set up. So, the customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. So, thank you all very much for thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you have had a fine night. I hope that you will continue to have a fine night every night, and I hope that you will be well until the next time I see you. Thank you all very much, and farewell. Let us get this raid underway.